Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the Fed rate hike or cut. Most likely it's going to be a cut that's coming up here in the next couple of days, and how that's going to be impacting the Bitcoin price. Also talking about how CBS News, today's article, is trying to blame COVID, blame the pandemic for the whole entire inflation rise. Now we all know that's a lie. So we're talking about how they're trying to spin it up as, oh my goodness, look what COVID did. Look what COVID did to inflation. All those poor people in the United States, all around the world, that are suffering from inflation, suffering from a jacked up price in their living standards. How all of that is not the government's problem. How all of that was not created by the government. But all of that was just magically appeared all on its own. All has to do with COVID. As if COVID is the one that printed trillions of dollars, as if COVID is the one that created this whole situation, and as if COVID is the one that told people to stay home and then just gave out money. So we're talking about that today's video. Now, if you think that's interesting, you know what to do. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Go to cryptollc.org if you're looking to build a data center. You're looking to build a Bitcoin farm. You want to buy some miners, sell miners, hydro farm, immersion cooling, just regular standard air cooling. Whatever you're looking for, we have all of that available at our site, cryptollc.org. And we also have a data center we're building out in North Dakota. So once that goes online, we'll be creating content directly from that North Dakota site. And that'd be great content, by the way. If you guys missed our Maddox video, I have a tour there that we did at Maddox's transformer supplier. So make sure you guys check out our channel. You can watch that video. It's really good stuff there as well. And before we get started, Bitcoin saves your wealth and Jesus Christ saves your soul. All right, so I'm walking around here at this park here. This park, still in Washington. I'm not in Florida yet. We'll be there pretty soon here. But you guys get to see some scenery from Washington. And you can see it's getting all, leaves and all that stuff, and it's getting more and more gloomy. So fall's coming around. And yeah, so it's going to be the last month here until we move out. All right, so let me get started on the video for today. We're going to be reading an article from CBS. The article is, let me find it here, CBS News. Okay, it's been a long and bumpy road to the Federal Reserve's first interest rate cut in more than 4 years, a moment that could prove decisive to the finances of millions of Americans. On Wednesday, the Fed is expected to reduce its benchmark rate, which currently stands at its highest point in 23 years, after the central bank, listen to this, after the central bank introduced a flurry of rate hikes. Listen to this cheap excuse. After the central bank introduced a flurry of rate hikes to tame the pandemic's high inflation. Whoa, wait. What do you mean tame the pandemic's high inflation? It almost sounds like it happened out of nowhere. Really? To tame the pandemic's high inflation. So you're going to raise the interest rate. Okay, I understand about taming inflation. Who caused the inflation? What do you mean pandemics? Like you're talking as if nothing happened. The reason why inflation was so high is because the government printed money. That's the reason. The reason for that is because the government decided, hey, you know what? Let's tell people to stay home. And then we understand that some of them might lose their jobs, might be laid off, they're not going to have money, they have no income, whatever. So let's just give them money while they stay home. And let's just give it out. And then they thought that that's not going to cause inflation. On top of that, they said, you know what? All these businesses, yeah, you're not generating money. So we're going to give you an SBA loan that you don't have to pay back. Like literally, you don't have to pay it back. So if you have a hard time, it's okay. Just don't pay it back. Isn't that just free money? Isn't that like Banana Republic free money? I mean, America makes fun of all these Banana Republics out there in the world. Makes fun of all these African countries and South American countries. Well, how are you better than them? You're doing the same exact thing. Like they need money to pay their government expenditures, right? They need to pay that. Well, they just print it. Isn't that what the United States did? It did. So this phrase that they're using here in this article and just trying to blame COVID. You know, they wouldn't be talking like this if Trump was the president, right? CBS News wouldn't say that if Trump was the president during the whole entire COVID, right? They would say, well, yeah, Trump was the president, so he just printed all this money. That was really stupid of what he did. That's very, very unintelligent. You know, Trump's not a smart guy. Why would he do that? But who was the president? Biden was the president. So CBS News just pretends that it came out of nowhere. Anyway, let's keep reading here. While economists are unanimous in expecting a rate cut on September 18th, they're split between predicting a 25 basis point or a 50 basis point rate cut, according to financial data firm FactSet. So the point today's video, what we're going to be focusing on, is not really the pandemic. I just wanted to make that small introductional point, how funny that is, because we all know why houses went up double, why everything costs more. It's not because of COVID, it's because the government is run by a bunch of morons and they printed up all this money and now everyone is suffering because of them. But the point of today's video is that if Bitcoin was financial reserve, right, if Bitcoin was used by governments, this would be impossible. It'll literally be impossible. Let's just go back to 2019, right, when COVID was just about to start. Let's go back there and let's talk about how, if everything was based on Bitcoin, how could you print the money, right? How could you print all those Bitcoins and then just give them out to everyone? You can't, right? It's unprintable. So when COVID came around, guess what the government would have had to do? Nothing. They would have done absolutely nothing because they can't do anything. What are they going to tell people? Hey, don't go to work? Well, person's going to starve. He doesn't have money, right? He needs to pay his bills. He's going to say, you know what? I need to go to work. Doesn't matter about what you're going to say. You know, I'm literally going to starve. I have to work. And the businesses are going to say, I have to stay open. But you're telling the business, no, here's an SBA loan. Don't pay it back. Here's this free money. You don't have to show up to work. People didn't. And that's why you have houses double and inflation's up. So Bitcoin fixes all of those issues, unprintable. And again, just imagine that whole scenario. And that's like a really big use case that you can make for Bitcoin, because none of that would have happened, right? For everyone out there that says, Bitcoin's so dumb, it's such a worthless coin, we don't need it, what's the point of it, it doesn't do anything. If Bitcoin was the currency everyone was using, your house wouldn't, well, not the house, like for the people that own the home, they can make an argument that inflation is wonderful. They're not gonna make that argument for paying double for eggs or milk or whatever. But for the people that don't have a home, now it's basically impossible to get one. Now it's impossible because now you're going to be paying like $600,000, $800,000. In some places you can pay at least $1 million just to get a regular old home, which just 5 years ago would be half of that. So the reason why you're worse off is because you're not using Bitcoin. So that's the problem here. The other thing is, let's go back to the article here. The other thing is about the whole inflation is they're thinking, hey, let's raise it. Let's lower it by quarter point or half a point, basis point. Well, the thing is that if you actually wanted to fight inflation, you need to raise those interest rates up to like 12%, 14%. That's where it needs to be. Yeah, seeing that the interest rate was slowly risen from like basically rock bottom to like 5% or whatever it is for the Fed's fund rate. And so that your home prices are like at 6, 7%, right? You see that for the past couple of years, they were sitting at that 6, 7. Well, how did the housing prices, did it improve a lot? No, it didn't, not that much, because people can still afford that 6, 7. A lot of people that are buying those homes are buying them for cash. So they're walking out there and they're saying, you know what? I'm gonna take my cash and just buy it straight up, pay the 500,000 or the 700,000 straight up for it, and I can avoid paying that 7%. So it didn't really solve much. To solve the whole inflation thing, you need to have your interest rate up towards the 12%, 12, 15%. That's where it needs to be. And then at that point, you will actually have a significant reduction in home prices, because no one can afford a $800,000 home at 15% interest rate, right? It's basically impossible. So that home needs to be at $300,000 to be able to pay that 15%. That's where it needs to be. But again, let's go back to the whole Bitcoin. So Bitcoin would fix all of that, right? You wouldn't have this issue if you were on Bitcoin, on like a Bitcoin standard, I would say. So yeah, this is a use case scenario here for all you guys. I know a lot of the you guys watching our channel, you guys are Bitcoiners, so you guys know what I'm talking about. But I'm just showing you how the government screws everything up, right? How the government is the problem, and how the government is the one that causes all these problems. When did the last time the government fixed anything, right? When was the last time they fixed anything? I mean, how's the school going? The whole education system going in the United States? It's like crap, right? It sucks. How is the financial situation going in the United States? Oh, he's like 4 trillion dollars in debt. How is all the regulations going in the United States, right? Are the regulations good for business? No, they're not. Well, the government creates all these problems, and if everything was based off of Bitcoin, a lot of these problems wouldn't exist, right? The government wouldn't be able to fund the education system in the United States if they had to actually own Bitcoin to pay for it. They wouldn't be able to fund all these wars, They wouldn't be able to go out there and kill all these innocent people just so that Morgan Stanley can make an extra buck, or all these big businesses can make an extra buck. You guys notice that they're talking about the first trillionaire that's going to be coming here in the next, by I think it was 2030. They're talking about like the first trillionaire, or 2028. Again, how did we get to the first trillionaire? Remember, before pandemic, right? Before COVID, all these companies, they were close to a trill. I think they were almost they were at a trillion evaluation. Like I think it was Apple, Microsoft. They were at a trillion, and then after COVID, they're at like 3 trillion. How did they go from 1 trillion to $3 trillion evaluation? How did they do that? Is there more? Is there did the population on the planet triple or something like that? That there's so much tax revenue and so much new customers out there, and they're buying their products, buying more iPhones and more Windows PCs or whatever. Is that what happened? Like the population rose 3x, and that's why you had like more sales from the businesses? No, right? They went up 3x because of what? Because of all the printing. Because of all the printing. None of this would have happened if everything was based on Bitcoin. Again, none of this would have happened. How are you going to print it, right? How are you going to print it? You can't. And if you look at other situations, like with the whole Telegram, Durov getting arrested or kind of detained in France. If Telegram was built on a blockchain, it will make it unconfiscatable, right? The government can't come in there and just take over. Right now, they're pretty much, I think they're just running like a shakedown of Durov and trying to get him in jail and just take away Telegram from him. But you look at that, even like something like Telegram, if it was built on a blockchain, you wouldn't be able to take it. If it was like peer distributed network and built on a blockchain, you wouldn't be able to take it. And you look at other technologies, like they're just banning, RT from all of Facebook, all from Meta. That's Instagram, Facebook, what's it called? WhatsApp, banning it from WhatsApp and all that stuff. So you can see how Bitcoin fixes all of those issues, and not only just your finances, your freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of knowledge, right? The government's trying to tell you what you can and can't know. The government's trying to tell you what you can and can't listen. The government's trying to tell you what history you're allowed to know and what history you should skip and not pay attention to because it doesn't fit their narrative. So, all that stuff. The government's trying to control everything. And if everything was based on Bitcoin, they wouldn't be able to do that. How are they going to do that? They can't. So yeah, that's today's video. And if you guys are looking to build a farm for yourself and start up your own Bitcoin operation, we have that available at cryptollc.org. And you can start up your own farm with our help here. We provide a consultation. We also have a whole build-out package that we offer for our clients. So if you want to build a farm like in Texas or Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, any of the states basically, except the high electric states, those are impossible. And we'll be able to work with you. But even if you are from a high electric state and you wanted to build a farm anyway, Not in that state. We say don't build a farm in California, but we can help you find one in a different state. So you don't have to be like from there. You can continue to live in California, let's say, and then we can help you build your site like in Wyoming, Montana, and areas like that that have good electric rates. So check out our site, cryptolc.org. If you want to buy some miners as well, we have that available. L7s, script miners, Dogecoin miners, Bitcoin miners, from Whatsminer, Bitmain, and everything else. So check out our site, cryptolc.org, and hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to comment on the video. Let us know what you guys think. And hope you guys like it. Until next time, goodbye.